Thus far, all the behaviors we have made are the standard canned behaviors that come with Director. These behaviors are not magic. You can make behaviors yourself. All they are instructions written in the lingo scripting language that tell Director what to do when certain events occur. We can see this by selecting a behavior in our cast window and choosing the cast member script button at the top of the cast window. So let's select rollover member change and selecting the cast member script window or cast member script button at the top of the cast window. This opens up a window, and let me just kind of readjust it here. This opens up a window that shows us the script that makes up the behavior. This behavior, rollover member change, is really just a bunch of lingo code. Okay? And the script is written in Director's scripting language. The language that Director uses is called lingo. Now, this particular lingo code is for rollover member change, and this behavior causes the mouth to close when our cursor passes over it. Now, I know this is all just sort of a bunch of gobbledygook to you at the moment, but let me just spend a little time showing you the important parts of it. Okay. This behavior is basically responding to two events. Okay. These events are, one, the mouse entering the sprite's bounding box, and two, the mouse leaving the sprite's bounding box. Okay. By bounding box, I mean the white rectangle, that whole thing. So when it enters the mouth and when it leaves the mouth, basically. Okay. When the mouse enters the sprite's bounding box, Director notifies all the scripts used in the movie that a mouse enter event has occurred. If the script receiving the mouse up event message has a mouse up handler, it may react to this event. This behavior has just such a handler, as signified by this block here, beginning with on mouse enter me and ending with end. This is called a handler, and it handles a mouse enter event. Okay. Let's translate this into English just to see what this block says. What it's saying is, when you receive a message that the mouse has entered a sprite's bounding box, check to make sure that it's the bounding box of the sprite that this behavior is attached to. If it is, okay, if it is, change the cast member that the sprite is using to the sprite that the user specified in the parameters window. And that's it. Okay. Now, similarly, there is another handler that responds when the mouse leaves a sprite. Okay, when this mouse cursor rolls out of the mouth. Okay, when it leaves that sprite's bounding box. Okay. This handler is signified by the block here in this script called on mouse leave. It starts with on mouse leave me, okay, and it ends with end mouse leave. Now, translated into English, what this block says is, when you receive a message that the mouse has left a sprite's bounding box, make sure that it is the bounding box of the sprite that this behavior is attached to. If it is, change the cast member that this sprite is using to the cast member that was originally attached to the sprite. Okay? So switch it back, basically. So this one says, switch the cast member to the one that they suggested, that they told you in the parameters. This one says, switch it back to the original one. Okay, that's what this is doing. Okay, whew, boy, a lot of stuff. Now, to recap, director sends messages to all the scripts in a movie when events occur in director. Events might be a mouse cursor entering or leaving a sprite's bounding box, a key being pressed, a mouse button being pressed, or any number of other things. But director sends messages to all the scripts in a movie whenever events occur in director. Okay. Now scripts, or behaviors, have sets of instructions which can be keyed to respond to these events. These sets of instructions are called handlers because they handle or respond to specific events. Handlers always begin with the keyword on, and they end with the keyword end, and sometimes the name of the event. Right, but they always begin with on.